All right, and welcome to another episode of About That Track. I'm Toussaint Morrison.
And I'm Dr. Wylie.
Okay. What's your name again?
Doctor.
What did you say?
What?
How does it feel to be interrupted? Anyways, we're gonna start on a track called About That Track. And yeah, I said that like several times. Okay, so we're gonna do.
You're here and you know what's going on.
We're recording, right? What's up? But this one's called The One. When did you first make this beat?
Oh,
I know the
years
answer.
ago.
Oh,
it's a quiz. You know the answer?
I know the answer. Because I remember listening to it for the first time. It was Deezer, Dubers, and like something else.
Yeah, I had a very creative week that had a.
Oh yeah, watch your hands here.
Oh, sorry.
Because it's like the mic. Yeah.
I had a very creative week where I just churned out starting ideas for beats.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be bothered with naming them, so they all began with the letter D. I don't know why.
Ended with the letter Z.
I was in the dubstep phase, I guess.
Go.
So,
Yeah,
Dubers and Deebers. But I'm going to go with 2014.
That is correct. It was the year of a World Cup, the Men's World Cup, but the answer is 2010.
Damn.
I remember because I was
10 years ago.
I was at Bearskin Lake, and like I was up at Bearskin Lake, and you sent them in, and I was listening to them. I was like, oh, and it kind of had like all of the lights, type of feel to it.
Right.
And I was like, oh man, this is dope. The faculties we had at that moment were so few, small, and lo-fi that there was no idea that anything could ever be that big. But then it came out swinging like a mother.
I think part of the creative impetus was that Reason 8 was relatively new at the time. For me, for us.
We had Reason 8 at the time? It was like 6 or 7.
Whatever version of it, I just remember being like, look at all these sound files.
She was old.
And so each new voice that I found, I was like super just stoked about it. And then that brought on I could do this with that.
Yeah.
And just kind of, it's like you open up the treasure chest and it's got all the Lego pieces that you could ever want.
What do I do with all these things?
And you can just build whatever you want. And then you dig further and you didn't even know that piece existed. Kind of a deal.
Yeah. And the thing is that I know this is 2010. Well, for those reasons, but also I started writing this in 2009 because there were some lines in it that were like, who are these girls posting X's and O's next to your name? And it was like, ain't nobody posts X's and O's to anybody's name anymore. That's how old this thing is.
It's a metaphor by this time.
It is, yeah, but it's a damn Facebook
People still click
wall.
People still give an icon of approval or disapproval.
The game is way more nuanced. It's like, today it would be like, who is that chick that was looking at your story? It would not be like Facebook wall. Okay, without further ado, The One. That just stayed in there, never took it out. I love it. It never left. She never left. The music video for this is gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be so great. We're gonna shoot it with Chris McDuffie and this old nasty kind of building in St. Paul. It's gonna be great.
You say it's alright, but you don't feel the same inside.
Our first attempts at emulating electronic cliches.
Yeah.
The sizzled fade.
Now they make it last call and you can't hold back the flames. You say what is yours writing on your wall.
Writing on your wall like it's their place. So 2010. It's Paul Simon right here. That's that Genesis. Yeah.
Phil Collins.
That Phil Collins. Phil Collins.
They all look alike.
It's a short white guy. I don't know. A short famous white guy that sings well.
Balding.
Now the club's closing and the streets are filling out.
something had to go there. It couldn't be left alone. It had to have those.
You know, I'm proud of that little passage, especially because it's like an anomaly. It's not part of the verse.
Yeah, and we'll pause for
as
a second
repetition.
Here. Yeah, because this song was like the same all the way through, and it was a bop, and it was like tough to like take away certain parts and then put them back in.
Because starting with the idea of the beat, the idea.
Yeah.
You know, I just was like, here, Toussaint, here's 30 seconds of everything.
Yeah.
And then how do you kind of reverse engineer that and pare it away and figure out how to come up with a flow to it? It's kind of, you have all the pieces you need, but you don't know, now that you've heard them all at once, how to get there.
Yeah, how to like emphasize each one on their own.
Yeah, how to flow it.
Supposed to X's and O's next to your name. Hold on, get it right.
What is that? Wow. Like it's like a wow. Like
it's actually, I don't know, would take a little bit of explaining, but when I
that's
first,
what we're here for.
Yeah, I was kind of referencing the whole, I don't want to talk over the rest of the song with this
No.
endearing anecdote.
No.
But when I first started making music in Reason and realized that you could integrate wave files within the actual program, which is before, we were doing like Fruity Loops, doing it over here, getting wave files over there, and then taking another program to merge them together. Mm-hmm. One of the first tracks I made on Reason, I did kind of what we did with another one of the About That tracks called Daisy, where it was like a house-made sample, and I did that. That was me going, woo!
Oh my God.
But it was from like an old track that I had just in the sound bank, and decided that it would have a place here.
That's hilarious.
So if you want to go back to like 2010, this was perhaps 2001 or 2.
Oh my God! Like
So,
within a year that we met each other.
This song essentially, when you consider all the ingredients, is basically old enough to drink.
Yeah, it is old enough to drink. It's older than you.
Yeah.
Older than you, gosh darn it.
Yeah, that cutout is a recent decision. That's why he kind of messed it up.
It's nice, yeah.
Yeah. Holy Malone, pause the game, get rid of that tone. You know that you holding me down in the rest of the city like Jessica Jones.
I was just reading the comic book of Jessica Jones and Luke Cage having a baby, and there it goes.
Well, and at the time it was big on Netflix too, right?
Yeah, Lord be the next to shout. But if you only means of addressing an issue, pressing on your last nervous to text it out. Shit, more attitude
than River City.
Love you in spite of all that passivity, girl.
It's just multiple video game references. It just.
No one but you.
I wanted to put as many as possible, like especially River City. Like to think like Jessica Jones in River City. It's fucking cool. It's
Unlockable character.
Yeah.
Once you eat all the sushi.
Streets of Rage 4 is out on the Switch.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Gotta get that.
Side combo.
This would have never happened back in 2010.
No.
So see these strings.
Because you would have insisted on having another verse over here.
Yeah. Me rapping again. But these strings happened these strings happened in 2014.
Well, this is the string voice.
Oh yeah. Altered.
But
I'll tell a small story about this after this is done. When I first heard
a little bracket of the progression there, I just it feels good to again have another outro that's separate from the spirit of the main song.
And then again, the slow fade. So somebody I was with at the time, when you had done those strings to the song, and
that reminds me how old this song is now.
I had been talked into driving out to Shakopee like once or twice a week to work with this producer that claimed he had like a connection to like a big record company. did not. It all, fizzled out, whatever. And this friend...
Shock a pee, more like a can of piss.
Oh, wow. He's not a father, but he's got the dad jokes. But we worked on it, and I was, things were looking up, and a friend of mine was like, so you're going to move out to LA someday, aren't you? And I was like, well, yeah, I think we're going to get this thing in the can and then go out to the big city or whatever. It's the big city, Jesus Christ. What is this, like, Varsity Blues? But
Prohibition era. Yeah,
this friend, this friend had heard the work that we were putting in and heard the string section, and they were like, you're really going to leave now, aren't you?
That was enough to convince, we're big time.
Well, because
Daddy knows how to make arpeggios.
Well, the great part was that it sounded above the standard that we were putting out. And once I heard that, I was like, we just might. I just felt great about it. But I didn't say that because I'm not a vindictive asshole. But
well, and you're new to bluffing games.
Yeah, exactly. I'm no good at that. But I remember hearing that too, and I was like, that's dope, and I don't know what to write for it. I think I wrote the verse soon, like within that year. But either way, that whole part was like an ascension to what we were usually doing.
Sure.
When you added that to it, because it was like, oh, this.
But it also took a vast expanse of time between the initial idea and what that edition was.
Yeah.
The initial Doobers or whatever the initial track name was the first part of the track with the two voices going on and the crazy, clustered up beat with the whoo, going on. But as far as turning it into a song, there was a good amount of time where you were writing for it, which is our usual process.
Yeah.
Where I'll have an idea and then we'll sit down and lay out kind of the verse, chorus, verse landscape, and then you'll write for it, and then you'll record for it, but maybe in parts. And when, in general, there's a bunch of other tracks going on in the, other burners on the oven. When it comes to that point of like, okay, how's the song going to end, or what do we do next? It's like, we haven't visited the song for 3 years.
Exactly.
And now we have a fresh perspective and fresh, ideas for it, and that's kind of where it came from.
And also, we were in the midst of making several mixtapes at that time, so it was like, why pour into the song when clearly this sucker ain't coming out for a long time? There's no need to what are we doing?
Yeah.
But then also, I remember to find the lyrics for this song, I would have to go back to a certain book that was so old. I just kept it in there for this specific song, and I think one other song, but I can't remember. Oh, one other song, but it was just like a backlog file that I would just be like, I guess I'll bring that notebook along because I need to reference the one or whatever it was called.
It becomes a security blanket at that point. Just I can't leave home without it.
Yeah, now it sits up there because I ain't messing around with that thing.
And it will be immortalized in the Museum of Toussaint.
Yeah,
in, a century.
Yeah, as long as I don't lose it in the fire, or just somebody takes a picture of it and digitalizes it. But yeah, that's the one, and it's coming out on. I guess it's not out yet as we're recording this. So, but by the time,
because we were making adjustments last week to it.
Yeah. So
which is kind of fun because I don't know. Another little side tangent. On the one side, a lot of cool creative ideas can come out of you need something by tomorrow. And
yeah.
And then, in the case of this, a lot of cool ideas came out of we've got a decade.
Yeah. Got about a 10-year. And it's a nice scotch. But this thing is older than your scotch. Your daddy's scotch.
We can't wait for you to drink this up.
That's right. You can just type in the one, Toussaint Morrison, and hopscotch, you'll find it. You'll find it anywhere, gosh darn it. YouTube, Spotify. You'll find it in the air, in the clouds.
Insert hypothetical product placement here.
Yeah. All right, thanks for checking. Thanks for checking in. We're going to see you in the next video. And Spotify, Toussaint Morrison or Dr. Wylie. And thanks so much for joining us. Later.